By the late 1980s, the Japanese Superbike Wars had devolved into a predictable arms race. The battle for supremacy was waged almost entirely in dyno sheets and press releases, with every manufacturer focusing on one primary, but flawed, metric, engine displacement. The belief was absolute. More cubic centimeters, cc, meant more horsepower and therefore more dominance. Companies like Kawasaki and Yamaha were locked in a zero-sum game, pushing towards and past the magical 1,000 cubic centimeters mark. The result of this obsession was powerful, yes, but increasingly heavy, physically large, and ultimately unwieldy motorcycles. The superbikes of the era, while boasting incredible top speeds, were becoming beasts, requiring immense physical strength and experience to control, especially when turning or braking. The original promise of the Japanese machines, accessible, reliable performance, was being lost in the pursuit of sheer bulk. Honda, a company built on the spirit of Soichiro Honda and the conviction that technology must solve problems, saw this race for displacement not as a competition, but as an opportunity. They understood that the true revolution would not come from simply adding metal, but from meticulously taking it away. The key to the next generation of speed was not raw horsepower, but the dynamic quality known as agility. This is the story of the Honda CBR900RR Fireblade, the machine that dared to defy the liter bike obsession by prioritizing lightness, and in doing so, single-handedly created the modern sportbike era. The visionary behind the Fireblade was Tadao Baba, a quietly revolutionary Honda engineer who joined the company in 1968. Baba-san was appointed as the large project leader, LPL, for the new Superbike project in the late 80s, a project that was originally intended to be a conventional 750 cubic centimeters racer. But Baba had a different vision. He had grown dissatisfied watching superbikes become progressively heavier and less fun to ride. Baba's core philosophy could be summarized as usable performance. He famously argued, "Power is meaningless if the rider cannot control the machine." His mission was not to build the most powerful bike, but the most controllable. The internal mantra for the project became a clear, defiant goal: build a bike with the performance of a 1,000 cubic centimeters machine, but with the weight and agility of a 600 cubic centimeters or 750 cubic centimeters racer. This seemingly impossible demand was the genesis of the Fireblade. To achieve this, Baba's team adopted radical steps, prioritizing weight reduction over all else. Every single component, down to the bolts and brackets, was scrutinized and redesigned to shed grams. This wasn't merely assembly. It was a crusade against weight. The result of Baba's fanatical vision, the CBR900RR Fireblade, exploded onto the scene in 1992. On paper, its 893 cubic centimeters engine seemed like a compromise, sitting awkwardly between the 750 cubic centimeters and 1,000 cubic centimeters classes. But this 893 cubic centimeters was the secret weapon. It was the maximum displacement that could be squeezed into the chassis designed for a 750 cubic centimeters engine. The technological achievements were immense. The Fireblade was shockingly light for its class, weighing in at just 185 kilograms dry, a massive 40 to 50 kilograms less than some of its 1,000 cubic centimeters rivals. This weight saving was the real horsepower gain. The engine itself was a masterpiece of compactness. Honda engineers used a unique gear-driven balance shaft to cancel vibrations, allowing the frame to be lighter without needing bulky reinforcements. The chassis was a revolutionary aluminum twin-spar frame, exceptionally rigid yet highly communicative, allowing the rider to feel every subtle input and feedback from the road. The 122 horsepower it produced, combined with its feather-light weight, gave it a power-to-weight ratio that humiliated the much larger liter bikes of the era. The Fireblade was littered. with design choices that broke established rules and would become standard for the next generation of sport bikes. The 16-inch front wheel, this was the most controversial feature. The smaller wheel gave the steering an incredibly quick, almost nervous responsiveness. It maximized turn-in speed, directly serving Baba's goal of agility, making the bike feel telepathic in tight corners. Minimalist, aerodynamic bodywork. Unlike its bulky rivals, the Fireblade was sleek. Its bodywork, with the signature Fox Eye twin headlights, was designed to reduce frontal area and weight. The aggressive, compact footprint. The bike looked small, reinforcing its lightweight philosophy. The riding position was aggressive but functional, demanding that the rider become fully integrated with the machine, leading to the later adoption of the total control mantra, the hold fairings. The original Fireblade fairings featured distinctive holes, initially designed as venting to help dissipate engine heat. Though they quickly became a signature styling element, the Fireblade was not just a collection of specifications. It was a holistic design, meticulously honed to place rider feel and controllability ahead of brute force. The immediate impact of the Fireblade was seismic. Competitors who had invested millions in designing ever larger 1,000 cubic centimeters engines were suddenly left with machines that felt obsolete. When tested back-to-back, the liter bikes felt like trucks. The Fireblade felt like a scalpel. It could carve up a mountain road faster, not because of its top speed, but because the rider could exploit its full potential with less fatigue and more confidence. Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki were caught completely off guard. The Fireblade effectively shifted the entire paradigm of the sport bike market in the space of one model year. It forced them to abandon the decade-long pursuit of pure displacement and focus urgently on weight reduction and chassis geometry. The launch of the Yamaha YZF-R a few years later, which prioritized compactness and low weight, was a direct, panicked response to the undeniable success of the Fireblade's philosophy. The Honda CBR900RR Fireblade stands as one of the most important motorcycles in modern history. It wasn't the first superbike, that was the CB750, but it was the machine that truly created the modern sport bike as we know it today. It demonstrated that genius often lies not in what you add, but what you daringly choose to leave out. The Fireblade was a profound testament to the power of a single engineer's conviction, Tadao Baba, and to Honda's continued willingness to challenge convention, to think beyond the numbers, and to innovate from the ground up. The Fireblade remains a legend, its DNA visible in every agile, high-performance machine that graces our roads and racetracks today. Thank you for joining Chrome Chronicles. If the Fireblade revolutionized what a sport bike could be, what happened when Yamaha decided to take on the challenge with a completely new approach? Subscribe to find out, and let us know in the comments. What was the biggest game changer for sport bikes? The raw power of the liter bikes or the nimble agility of the original Fireblade? See you on the road.